Hey, what's going on, guys? Red Dawn Prepper here. Getting to the video on how to prep your bug out vehicle or just vehicle maintenance in general. Okay, sorry it's taking so long. A lot of stuff's been going on, just like in everybody else's life. But I just moved. I got a garage and everything now, so I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna do a little recap before I go into maintenance on your vehicle and kind of prepping it up a little bit to make sure that your fuel mileage is efficiency and your car is in good general running order. So here we go. We're going to start right now with fluids and oils. And as you can see here, you got your oil. Whoa. You got your oil, which you want to get a couple cases. As you can see up there, I got cases because the oil prices are going to go up, right? So secure your oil while you still can. It's still under $30 at Costco and Sam's Club. You can get a case, what have you. Next is your brake fluid. Have a quart of brake fluid on you at all times. Transmission fluid, you could just have a quart on you just in case. Generally, your transmission doesn't require a lot of maintenance after you've maintained it. But if you haven't made transmission in a long time, get it checked out. Get a filter and some new fluid for it. As always, use your Lucas products. As you can see, I got power steering, regular oil. I got the jugs too. It's always good to make sure all your fluids are in top-notch condition. A lot of people skip with a power steering flush, which generally, it's not going to kill your vehicle or anything, but it's also a good idea just, every 100K or so to clean out your power steering pump. Put some new fluid in it, get the old stuff out. A lot of times you can do it yourself. I might even show you how if you want to kind of just ghetto do it. Otherwise, it's generally under $100 at a shop. So, what else we got here? Remember your generalized B12 chem tool. Great for cleaning out the gas, putting in your gas tank, cleaning out your valves inside your engine, which I'll show you how to do. And it's just a good old chemical to have. Next, you got your heat. Also good for your gas tank in cold climates. Or if you have water that that got into your gas tank. Have a couple things of heat. And remember to put these in with your 5-gallon jugs. Put a half a bottle of this in when you fill up your 5-gallon jugs. Also, I got some de-icer. Now, de-icer is just get a can anyway. Out here in California, you really don't see a lot of it, if at all. But have a can of de-icer just in case. You never know where you're going to end up. You know what I'm saying? It's good to put inside locks. Take it inside your key. It's good to break the ice around your windows. It works decently. Next, we're going to go to spare parts. Alright? Items that you should keep stored sparely before, shtf situation, before price inflation, before whatever you want. Here I got the light bulbs. Okay, and like I said before, you've got your regular bulb, and you've got your little bit more expensive bulb, but it's brighter. Again, this was what, $2, $3 more, and these are my old bulbs, and they still work. So I say replace your headlights now and keep the old bulbs. This way, if you ever have a problem, you can always replace it. But, if your car's got anything above 40,000, I'd start replacing some of these things. Start replacing your brake lights. This is a kind of a typical old style blinker bulb, brake bulb. This is single filament. You have dual filaments in a lot of your new cars, so keep that in mind, which work the blinker and the brake. This just works one or the other. So keep that in mind. These things are going up in price, guys. Okay, these things are going up, and they're going up fast. Like I said before, a year or two ago, you can get one of these for about 80 cents. Now they're over $1, if you can even find them singly. You buy a 2-pack, and they're $5. Same thing with these. You used to be able to get these for $7. Now they're 10. You know what I'm saying? So get yourself a spare set of headlights. I'm sorry I don't have a regular bulb. Most of your cars aren't this big. This is, of course, old style, since I have an older truck. But headlight's a headlight. You understand? Look it up. Look whatever your car needs at your local parts store. Get an extra set. Also, air filters. like I said, this is just a regular air filter. The one I showed you before is a performance air filter. But I have this spare air filter just because. You never know. I mean, there's a ton of situations where you might suck up a lot of dust, dirt, soot, you know, maybe even a volcano erupts. You know, a volcano erupts, you're going to have to definitely keep your air thing clean. So, air filter. This isn't a typical looking air filter. Most air filters are pretty flat. And again, it's an easy change to do yourself. Okay. Another thing is spare batteries. This is a red top deep cycle battery. Also, my truck happens to be side post, so which you'll see, and you're probably wondering, well, you've got a top post battery. I was like, I also got the modifications for it, to where I can modify it from a side post to a top post. So have a spare battery. Again, if your battery's 4 years old or so, it's time to get a new one anyway. And it's a good thing if your battery still works. This way you can keep it as a spare. So keep that in mind. I remember I told you about the terminal post too. I'm sorry I don't have a terminal post on me again, but I will show you what they look like in the side posts, and I'll give you a better description. But the terminal posts go around here and connect to your cables. So keep sure that these are clean. Make sure your terminals are clean, free of all that gunk that you might commonly see on them. And because that can zap your car pretty bad. That can make your battery bad. That can make your alternator bad. So hook up some new terminal posts or clean the ones you got. Always make sure that you can get them off. If you can't get them off with a wrench, because they like to strip when they get old. They're very weak material. So again, make sure that you could get your terminal posts off easily. Make sure the wrench fits on them and everything, and clean them up. Alright, also along with the spare items is your tires. Tires very important in an shtf situation, because if you're running and you get a flat tire, you're not going to be able to run into a shop. Okay? So, again, this is a tire plug kit, $10, and this is the good one. They've got a cheaper one that don't have like the handles right here. So if you can stand that, I just kind of went $2 extra and got the handles because, you know, hey, an extra plug fillers and stuff. Probably should have taken this tape off before I started filming, but hey, you guys get the idea. This is what's up. Fix a flat as well, okay? Because you never know, it might just be a small leak. You pour some of this in there. Like I said, this is a decently large can, so what you're going to want to do is pour about half in a generalized tire. If you've got anything above a 235, and I'll show you how to read the tire sizes, but if you got anything above a 235, like 15, you probably want to put more in there. But otherwise, if you got a general small car, this is what's up right here. Put a half can in, otherwise the full can. And also, this might show you where the plug is, or where the hole is, because it'll leak out. So keep that in mind so you can use your plug. Right here is a tire gauge. I got the electronic one. You can get a generalized air pressure gauge, so you can keep track of your air pressure inside your tires. That's important even in a SHTF situation, because if you stop, you're going to want to make sure that your tires are ready to go for the next day and that you haven't hit a nail. So you'll have time to repair it if you are able to stop. I've got the electronic one. This is $10. And it's got readouts, all kinds of readouts, different settings. So another thing is, good for your tires is a tread gauge. This is very cheap, I think $2-3. This way you can figure out if your tires need to be replaced. If you've got any kind of odd wear, inside wear, outside wear, middle wear, whatever you want. This will gauge it up pretty nice and show you if you need an alignment or what's wrong with your suspension or anything like that. Okay. Oh, gas cap too. I know this is my regular gas cap. My locking gas cap is on right now. Unfortunately, I didn't take it off because I couldn't find the key. So I'm going to have to search for that and hope I find it. That's another thing. Make sure you got a lot of keys stashed away for your gas cap. Or else you're going to be SOL. But get a locking gas cap and get it now. This is the one thing I recommend everybody have right now as gas prices start to skyrocket. It's $4.50 out here in California right now, guys. So, you know, so goes California, so goes the rest of the country, right? So a locking gas cap. Also, if you want now, keep inside your tools, or excuse me, what you want to keep inside your truck as a generalized thing. This is kind of my shtf bug out toolbox. As you can see, it's a Craftsman. It's got the speakers. You can plug your iPod or a radio into it, which is why I want to keep it, because if you can plug your radio into it, you get a little bit better sound if you need it. Or hey, let the good times roll and let whoever finds you. Who knows? You never know what kind of situation you're going to be in. I mean, I use it just, working on my truck. I can listen to music and so forth. But always keep a generalized toolbox and a general set of tools. Your main tools you're going to want are something like a pair of channel locks, a pair of vice grips, different kinds of screwdrivers. The ones with the different heads like this are good because you can always just change out the head. For flat head, star bit, anything like that. Get yourself a nice a cheap set from Harbor Freight of bits. So you're actually pretty much ready for anything. Any kind of Phillips head, flat head, star bit, anything like that. This is just the rest of the kind of wrenches and so forth. Have a pair of wire cutters on there too, otherwise known as dikes. You never know when you'll be cutting some wire. You cut tape, what have you. Keep a small screwdriver on you for small stuff too. Just good habits, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. Always have a bunch of pens. I keep pens and markers and everything in my toolboxes for, whatever. Maybe you need to draw on a map. Maybe you need to draw on, your filters. Whoever knows. Keep a generalized wrench set. Like I said, you can keep this all in this small bag for your daily driver. That's pretty much what I do. It's usually filled more than this, but I just took it out so it didn't look so clustered. Keep a full set of wrenches. If you got to have a wrench, get metric. A lot of your common cars don't really have standard wrenches, so keep metric. Metric's good stuff. You can really never go wrong. Most of your items on your vehicle are going to be metric anyway. So keep a decent wrench set on there. Also, flashlights. You ain't got to keep this big bad boy on at all times. But something like this is real good. It's 15, 17 bucks, Home Depot, Walmart, wherever you want to go. Something that produces a little bit more light than those $4 ones you see at the counter. You know what I'm saying? At your auto parts stores or your regular stores. Don't get a rinky-dink one. Have something that produces some light. As always, your gas cans. I got a bunch of these ready to go. This one's empty. I just filled up my lawnmower and so forth. So, have something like this going down. Protection and gear. I mean, I always have a knife on me at all times. It's a 10-inch blade. Keep something, folding knife on you. Keep a Leatherman, something like that, where you can just bust it out. So you have a knife, you have pliers, you have a hammer. It doesn't have to be this Leatherman, but keep a Leatherman or some kind of Swiss Army knife on you too. Probably a good idea. This little gadget over here, a lot of you might not know what it is. It's a multimeter. This one's a pretty fancy one. Good for your battery, good to test your alternator. This is more in the case of general maintenance, SHTF situation. Really, I mean, unless you're troubleshooting on the go, what have you, you don't really need it. But you got rinky-dink ones for $10 to $20 at any store, really. So good thing to have right here. Just A, as a maintenance tool, and B, I take it because I would use it a lot in a SHTF situation. Make sure you got filters too. Funnels and filters. Keep a spare filter for all your vehicles. Like I said, I have about 3 for mine. I keep in however many oil changes a case holds, which is 3. So spare oil filters, spare air filters, things like that. Funnels, good for gas, because those nozzles right there, man, those things are worthless. So if you really want to get it off, take the top off, pop in your freaking funnel and let it roll. Or else they've got a